Today's episode of the Outline Podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/outlinepod. There's over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Now let's start the show.
The Outline, with Kevin Dwayne. The Outline, with Kevin Dwayne. This is the Outline with Kevin Dwayne. Kevin Dwayne, Kevin Dwayne, with Kevin Dwayne.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's the Outline with Kevin Dwayne. Thank you so much for joining me for yet another show. We are approaching a year in about 2 more weeks. I cannot believe that I, of all people, have showed up every week for an entire year. But you, as the fans and the listeners, have been listening every week. So thank you so much for that support. Remember, if you're sharing this podcast, let your friends know they can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, on SoundCloud, on Stitcher, Google Play Music, and at kevindwayne.com. Thank you so much for your comments, rating it, and just all the love you guys have shown. This has been a great year, but we'll get to more of that when we hit the year mark in a couple weeks. Today, I have a special guest. So those of you who follow me closely have been seeing every Monday evening, I am posting a yoga pose. Now, some of y'all don't know it's yoga because you're too busy looking at my ass, but I'm actually posing. Those are actually poses I get from a sensei. And there's been a yoga challenge, which will be over by the time you hear this, but I have him on the show today, so I'm going to have him introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sensei Raven Ekundayo. I am a yoga instructor. I teach Ashtanga yoga, certified life coach and Reiki practitioner, and all things wellness through my wellness brand, The Love Movement, which has been going on since 2010.
Oof.
I'm happy to be here.
Come through 2010. I'm happy to have you on the show because yoga has been a great addition to my life. I truly, truly, truly enjoy it. And I started it was a fluke, really. Right. I think one day I saw, me and Raven have been friends on Facebook for a couple years now. And I kept seeing him, posting stuff like that. And I'm all about fitness and working out. And so one day I was like, I'm going to try this. And so I sent him a text. I'm like, I think I'm going to try yoga. I'm just going to hop on YouTube and find something. He was like, okay, but if you need my help, let me know. And I guess he knew it wasn't going to work out. So I remember it was a Saturday morning, and I hopped on YouTube, and I found this little white girl. And she was teaching it, but she was going too fast. I'm like, girl, I can't get in a downward dog and then back up. And there were no tips. It was just, she was just going. Yeah. And that was the beginner's video. I'm like, girl, where did we begin?
Keep up. You supposed to be.
Where did we begin? And so I tried to fight through it. And so I said, hey, so how about we FaceTime on Monday and we do these? Like, sure. So we did an intro class. And I honestly, before the class, I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I did.
Really?
I thought it was going to be you show me some things. And I'd be like, okay, girl. Thank you. Thanks, bye. And move on. I swear to God.
That was something real cute for the moment.
I really thought, I'm like, thanks.
Right.
And we're done. And I tried yoga. But then I really enjoyed that class. You did an amazing job, especially via FaceTime.
Right.
Like, I had my iPad or my computer, and we called via Skype.
Yes.
And then I airplayed it to my TV. And I would watch him on the TV, and we would do yoga together.
Getting it in.
And I thoroughly enjoyed it. So at the end of class, I'm like, so I think I want to be a student, you know? And
you were actually one of my very first online students.
Come through.
So you're one of the people that proved to me that I was capable of teaching people online.
Yeah.
Because, what a lot of people don't know is that you were a student, as you were just saying, a student of me online before I moved to Atlanta. So we kind of did reverse of a lot of my other students.
Yeah.
A lot of my other students learned from me online first and then eventually get to meet me in person. Nope. Learn from me in person and then are now online with me now that I'm in Atlanta. But you were the reverse.
And that's great. And I think it's great because, there's so many online videos and stuff.
Yeah.
But with that, it's still personal.
Yes.
You're still personalizing to what I need and my limits and stuff like that. And I really enjoy doing the FaceTime a lot. It's very effective, give you a little plug if you have time.
I appreciate that.
It's very, very effective online.
Yeah.
However, I do love it in person too, though,
Right.
because I'm pretty sure my class is the most comedic ever. Because every week we spend so much time laughing.
Right.
Like, we still get yoga done, but I'm one of those students that just, I express myself. I express myself. And some of these moves he try to have me do are just, they're a lot. And then he'll do these little modifications that are supposed to be easier, but they're harder. You're like, wait a minute, how is that? Why is there a leg lift now? I was all on the ground before. How is a modification? That's easy.
But to your credit, you're always up for it.
I am up for it.
There are some people that are like, you asked me to do a pose. I'm going to say no the first time. Or I'll do it, and then if you attempt to get me to do it again, I'm going to say no. You are up for it every single time. You may look at me like, bitch.
Right.
But then you'll be like, okay, well, let's go ahead.
I'll give a look. Well, I am, one thing about me is I'm down for a challenge.
Right.
I think I just like to talk shit.
Right.
That's ultimately my thing.
Yeah.
It's just who I am. I'm gonna try it.
Right.
But it's one of those things, and even once I hit my limit, I hit my limit.
Right.
There's been times in the class where I have nothing left. And then he'll have me do a wheel. Was it the
wheel pose?
Oh my God. And my body's just listen, you have nothing left.
Yeah.
But then I learned that that's the point.
Right.
You're supposed to push, and I think after is the best part. You just feel so good. You're stretched out and you're just wow, and you pushed yourself, and I've really grown to love yoga and recommend it to people. I'm always telling people, try it, and I'm excited to see more African American people do it, and they're separating from their the idea that it's against their religion,
right?
And they're realizing it's just meditation, boo.
Yeah.
There's really no God or deity being used. It's visualization.
Yeah.
That's it.
I've had a lot of interesting conversations since moving to Atlanta about that. In all the years that I've been doing yoga, and I started doing yoga when I was a teenager. In all of those years, I'm 37 now. And I've had very few, I would say, my very first time being introduced to the idea of it being demonic or something was when I was around 21 years old. I had a coworker, I was a manager, dating the hell out of myself, had Sam Goody.
Yes, Sam Goody. Oh, $18 CDs. The discounting, no discount.
I was a manager, and one of my employees had made a comment to me when I told him that I was going to do yoga. And he was telling me to be careful because you know that it's of Satan. And I looked at him like, come again? Where, when, how, and of course he had absolutely no leg to stand on when he was making his argument for why it was. But these conversations that I've had down here, I've been very happy that the conversations have all been people who have said they woke up, I had been brainwashed into believing this, so it hasn't really been a thing of me having to get them to understand. They're already in a place of understanding, but they wanted to be transparent with me. But it's opened my eyes because I had no idea there were that many people who felt that way. And it's why I think it's so important and why I'm so excited when I'm on Instagram and you can type in, black yogi superstars, or black men do yoga, or you could go under Black Girl Magic and there's a possibility you'll see sisters doing yoga. It's such a beautiful thing that it's no longer a situation where it seems like we're in the minority, because if we're being honest, it was brown people who started yoga in the first place. So this isn't a situation where it's this came from the white community.
Right.
It started with people of color. So it's like we need to understand that this is for us.
Oh, right.
Absolutely.
It is. And then that's great because, we just had the challenge,
Yeah.
which I've been talking about every week on the podcast, the
Thank
Brothers
you.
of Light Challenge.
Yeah.
And I go on there and click that hashtag and listen, if y'all need some eye candy, let me tell you, if you need some eye candy, go to Brothers of Light. The men's on there, baby. Like, my God. And so the challenge has been going on, and like
Today
I said,
is the last
today's
day.
the last day. We're recording this on Saturday, and it's people have really been showing out and just seeing these black men just doing that, because it's another thing too, because masculinity is so fragile for some, where some feel like yoga is not hard enough.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is healing.
Yeah.
Like that's all this is.
It's also insulting to women because their whole thing is that it's something just for women.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how insulting?
Right.
Because what is it that you're trying to say about women?
Right.
That you're saying that this isn't something for you.
Right.
But get them into a class.
Okay.
It's been
God.
amazing to watch the responses from especially men of color.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this is especially with me teaching Ashtanga, the form of yoga that I teach, and the fact that it works you out the way that it does, And it's like,
what I will say is, I think since I've been doing yoga, my body has a little more, I want to say, muscle memory. So what I've personally noticed, I can lack a little bit when it comes to like my other cardio because I run. But if there's a week that I don't want to run, or I'm a little more lazy or a little more lax with my eating, my body kind of sticks a little longer since I've been yoga, because I still do yoga consistently.
Right.
It's once a week with you, but I also practice at home too. But I've noticed my body has a little bit more staying power.
Yeah.
It's like it knows, like, oh no, this is where we want to stay at. I've been shocked because there's been weeks where it was a slow week.
Right.
And I hop on a scale and I'm like, oh.
Right.
Because normally, I'm an endomorph, so I put on weight like nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much to gain weight. Like, if I ever had to have a roll as a clump, like, I'd be like, oh, give me 2 weeks, girl. Go eat this box of honey buns real quick. Like, it wouldn't take long at all. It wouldn't take long at all. But, maintaining is the tough part.
Right.
But since yoga, my body has kind of like, oh, yeah, we're good. And like, I always look forward to that, especially he and I practice on Mondays. And I look forward to that on Mondays because Mondays, it's Monday.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't really want to end your weekend, and I don't usually like hitting the pavement running on Monday, especially if I have like a long day on Sunday or something like that. I will if I don't have anything planned, but now that we do it on Mondays, I'm like, okay, I don't have to run this morning.
Absolutely.
I know I'll have yoga tonight. And I also like to preserve that energy.
Yeah.
I'm watching when I'm eating all day because you want to have a close to empty stomach.
I was about to say, you never want to do yoga with tons of food.
Right. And then you want to be hydrated.
Absolutely.
And I've learned that when I kind of don't eat like 2.5 hours before, I give my best performance because you're really pushing your body.
Yeah.
It's low impact.
Yeah.
But sweat. I sweat. Like there's times like he'll have me do these poses and just sweat will just pour out of my body. Like I'll be like moderately dry. And then you'll have me do something and all of a sudden sweat is just coming out because my body's being challenged.
Yeah.
But it's low impact. Your heart's not like pumping out of your chest, but you're still getting a really, really, really good workout.
Well, several things. One is that's the reason why it's important to always connect with your breath. That's why I'm always telling you guys, to make sure that you're constantly inhaling and exhaling. The beauty of vinyasa, is the flow. Constantly paying attention, inhale here, exhale here.
Flow.
We
we have a default flow.
Yes.
It's one of those bittersweet things. Like it's like one of those things like it's when you go in your flow that it's a transition piece always.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. It's like after being challenged, it's like, ooh, go into your flow.
Right.
But then once you're in your flow, it's like, wait a minute, your butt's too high or your shoulders are too low. You're like, oh my God. Because it's all about positioning and stuff. But like I said, it's a weekly challenge. And just seeing yourself get better over time. And like I talked about this last week. On Instagram, my favorite move is the Bakasana. Yeah. Because when you first showed it to me, I'm like, who?
Right.
Like he was like, okay, I want you to try this. I'm like, no.
No.
Like, how?
That's a real easy no.
Like, I'm going to fall on my face.
Yes.
And then, like, it wasn't that long.
Listen.
It was less than 2 months.
Listen.
And then one day I was just sitting here and I'm like, let me try it. And all of a sudden I was like, I got up. And then, the trusting your wrist and the breathe, like you said, the breathing, and it's great. And now, I was actually last week because of the Bros Light Challenge. I was trying to work on the bow pose because I saw someone posted this beautiful one. I said, "How'd he do that?"
Right.
And I was cracking up because I was really looking at videos trying to like breathe. I'm like, wait a minute, he uses stretchers and stuff like that. But then I noticed everybody else in challenge did it the regular way. I said, "Okay,
Right." Then that's
it ain't just me," because I'm like, I can't do the over. I was like, my goodness, but it was beautiful. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. But
the person who you're probably talking about was probably Jarek.
Yeah, he was the only one who
Jarek
did it.
Everybody
was like, I'm gonna go ahead and just grab my ankles.
Jarek is bendy as
I'm gonna grab my toes.
Right.
And they're gonna be over my head, elbows out. I said, listen, do it.
Shout out to Jarek, Ahmed, and Mario. Those are the 3 brothers who were doing the challenge with me. Amazing brothers. And it is to be completely transparent for my yogi and yoginis who are listening and those who aspire to be, it has been a journey for me to find people of color who I can truly connect with when it comes to this yoga journey. One of the beautiful things that one of my friends told me when I was planning to move here was that you don't really have to worry about a lot of competition in Atlanta when it comes to yoga because there's space for everyone. And I'm praying that's the case. I'm only 2 months here, so I'm starting to meet people now. But so often in the community, and not just of color, just in general when it comes to, I guess, any area you can think of, there are a lot of elitists, and people who don't really want to open doors for you or make connections. And I'm so thankful for these 3 brothers because, even though I'm in Atlanta and they're in DC, we have really been celebrating each other as we've been going on this journey. And it's wonderful because it's needed to have people who help to inspire you and you can connect with no matter what it is as far as your passion,
Amen. And what is it about? You mentioned the whole elitist thing. What is it about? And I only know my culture.
Right.
So I can't necessarily say it's only us.
Right.
But sometimes I feel like, damn, why do we do this?
Yeah.
You see it in the yoga community. You see it in the travel community, like travel shamers. And there was a post the other day that went viral negatively because this guy's like, oh, going to Houston, New York, or Atlanta isn't a vacation. It's like, but who are you to say that?
Who are you to say? Yeah.
Who are you to say that? Like, don't do that. Everyone wants to feel like they're doing something better. It's the people who post their passport pictures every 5 minutes. You're like, child, don't care about the passport. But why can't we just let people live? Why does it have to be like, I'm out gaming you, or I'm doing this because I'm doing this? And it's just,
my whole thing is inspire people, Like I post pictures of me. I went to St. Martin in Anguilla last year, and so of course I'm doing tons of yoga pictures.
Those are beautiful.
Thank you. So my thing is that I'm posting those pictures. I want to inspire you to get there. I'm not shaming people. That's crazy. It's like live your best life. Right. There are some people. I'm from Baltimore. There are some people who have never left. For those of you who know about East Side, West Side when it comes to Baltimore, there are some people who have never left the East Side to really get to know the West Side. Yeah. And it's like, don't shame people. Let them know you can get over to the West Side if you want to. So on a global scale, it doesn't matter where you come from. You can get somewhere else. You can get to California if you live in Atlanta. You absolutely can.
Absolutely. I mean, because Lord knows, when I was in California, coming to Atlanta was vacation for me.
Yeah.
Going to New York, going to DC. DC's beautiful. I actually want to get back to DC. And that's not that far from here, but I thought it was beautiful. So you can't say that's not vacation, especially if I'm going to sightsee and do things. Not everyone's going to be on an international level, and we need to respect people. Who aren't there.
Say it.
And half of y'all are stunning any damn way. Like, no shade, no shade. But a lot of y'all are flight attendants. It's a part of your benefits, boo. Like you can't sit here and shame people. When you were working, boo. And that's what it is, and inspire. It's one thing to just post a picture.
Right.
That's inspiring. Okay, this is where I am. But when your comments why you girls are going to Vegas here, that's where you're teetering on shallow ground.
Yeah.
But then there's also people who project. So, you post a picture, be like, oh, you want to just show us? You like, whoa. Can I just be happy?
Yeah.
Why can't I just
be happy in this moment right now?
Seriously. But
it does. It works both ways. ways.
Seriously, it really does.
That all goes into a person and their self-worth.
It really does. It really does. Well, we gonna get there too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, all that to say, I truly love yoga. You guys, I recommend it if you can't do it with Raven, do it with someone.
Yeah.
But I will say you'll be missing out. Although I've done yoga with no one except the white lady on YouTube, but I still feel like I have a bias. I still feel like I have a bias that Raven's the best.
Yeah. Thank you.
But for now, if you can't do it Raven, do it with someone. It's just great. Like, I just love the benefits. You literally feel alive.
Absolutely.
Your body, blood flow.
Yeah.
It's blood flow. You feel blood throughout your body. You're like, oh my God, like it's the best stretch.
Yeah.
Like, there's parts like I love, like the baby pose or the
happy baby.
Yeah. Because it's a stretch that you're like not used to. You're like, oh
Right.
my God. And like,
I appreciate you for that, because there are a lot of people who take happy baby in a sexual
Oh,
direction,
well,
in a heartbeat.
You know what? And let's talk about that briefly too. Yoga is just a sensual thing to people, apparently.
Yeah.
Like, literally, people out here just trying to stretch.
Right.
They're out here just trying to revitalize their lives. But listen, every time I post a picture, and you know this too when you post yours,
Yeah.
them DMs,
Light up.
Can you do that with a dick in you?
And you and I have been very honest and open about the fact that we know when it's a thirst that's being posted,
Absolutely.
But there are situations like, okay, I posted one maybe 2 days ago where I was in my underwear. It's been months since I posted one where I was in my underwear. So that people can't use that as an excuse.
Right.
I can be in Bakasana, and simply the fact that my booty is tooted up in the air will have somebody in my DMs.
You always
I'm
got
fully
comments,
dressed.
Child. Take that thing up, mama. Where you like, damn. And so some people just do it. And
Yeah.
I've learned to be like, whatever, it is what it is. But it's just you're putting your body in very compromising positions. But hey.
And we can't help the fact that we're two cakey brothers.
Listen, cakey. And yoga is only making it.
Listen,
because we getting these hips open. I'm trying to get my shit to go. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But I love yoga. I recommend it for any size, any height.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you can't do it. There is a beginning place for you.
Absolutely. And if anybody wants to know about what it is that I do specifically, what sets me apart, because when it comes to yogis and yoginis, you will never get the same teacher twice. Everyone teaches differently. So the classes will be different. But for me, what differentiates what it is I do, I created a yoga called Revolutionary Yoga. And that specific yoga takes Ashtanga and melds it with meditation and deep visualization. And that journey that I take people on as far as visualization, I think helps to ease people in to yoga. Being able to release negative energy and focus on positive energy and self-love really does a lot when it comes to your flow as well. It helps to clear your mind.
I love it.
So definitely I want to put that out there for myself as something that makes me an individual when it comes to the yoga community.
I love it. I love it. He got a cute little playlist too. It's great.
Thank you.
But yeah, so that was great. We got a chance to talk about that because it's a part of who you are, So
Yeah.
and I really do love yoga.
Thank
and
you.
like
I'm so happy
I don't bullshit people because I think some people you put on. I'm like, no, I really do love it. Like
Kevin never puts on.
right. I'm like, no, I love it. I love it. So a couple things that are going on. The next section I call what y'all lying about this week. And it's just like topics that are going on. And it's just a couple this week. There wasn't too much happening, outside of Trump shit. And I just don't waste my time anymore. Number one, so the talk of the town yesterday. Oh, you got it. He
said Trump.
He lit up.
I was like, because I'm into politics.
Right,
so
he lit up, but I don't have anything.
Right.
I'm good. Because he gives you plenty of content, doesn't he?
All day, every day.
Every day. You can just wake up anytime. I need content. What Trump doing?
You can just go to his Twitter page.
Right. Oh, shit. Like, he literally just loads up, and it's just, I can't. I cannot. So, the biggest talk yesterday was about Jay-Z's latest release, which is 444. I was cracking up when he was talking about it. He was like, oh, yeah, I woke up at 4:44 in the morning and wrote this. I'm like, no, you didn't. Shut up. Your body did not wake up at 4:44 in the morning. And he's like, oh, let me write the song. But whatever, I digress. I know you mentioned earlier that you haven't heard it yet.
Yeah.
But I did get a chance to hear it. I went through hell because I have AT&T and I did not have Tidal. But listen, I know how to get shit.
Right.
Don't play.
You better work it out.
I listened to y'all when y'all did. I was tweeting with y'all because, you know, I wanted to know.
I'm one of those Sprint owners that feels bad because I have 6 months free.
Right,
so I could have easily... Mind you, I went on Tidal yesterday and I kept looking at the subscription thing and I was like, I guess I should press it. I went and did mad research on the album.
Right.
All the quotes, you know, saw the video for OJ. Yeah.
And that's what I want to talk about. This is actually a great work of his.
Yes,
and
I agree.
Better than the last one because, you know, the Magna Carta, Holy Grail, the whatever that album was called, it wasn't received well by everyone. Like, it was good, but it was kind of like, oh, you're just putting this off to put it out.
Right.
This album had a purpose, and you got to see Jay-Z in a very vulnerable place.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's like 46, 47. And so it's like, okay, you're a grown-ass man, and you're literally saying, okay, I want to talk about what I've done.
Absolutely.
And I want to, you know, repent of that, and I want to say I'm sorry. And every track had a different kind of thing that he wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
At the top, the first song was like Kill Jay-Z, and he's just talking about the little things he's done over time. Like, oh, you know, this thing with Kanye, or this thing where I stabbed Lance Rivera because he was talking shit because I had too much ego.
Right.
Or he's like, when I egged on Solange when all I had to do was say sorry.
Yeah.
And like, you're just like, okay, that's how he started it.
Yeah.
Then he moves into another track where he's talking about his mom being a lesbian.
Yeah. Smile. That's the
Smile.
thing, right? Yeah.
And you're just like, oh my God. And just like, you know, you had to hide that, but it's nice to finally see you find someone you love. And, and I was just like, and to hear this rapper who has said plenty of things that relates with misogyny and homophobia in his career talk about this in a way. And you're just like, okay, Jay.
Yeah.
And then you get to the 444 where he's just going over all the shit he did to Beyonce. You're just like, and we knew from Lemonade, you know, that she was going through stuff.
Right.
And if you listen back to earlier stuff, Irreplaceable and Ring the Alarm and Me, Myself, and I, she's been with Jay-Z since she was like 20.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're like, damn, girl.
Right.
And so hearing him say, I'm sorry for the stillborns.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for, you know, all the things that I've done. Like, you're just like, shit.
But he's also being as transparent.
He's being very transparent. And then I also thought about that when the part about the stillborns made me sad because, you know, the concurrent joke that everyone likes to use is that Beyonce didn't have Blue Ivy. But you have to understand how insulting and hurtful that must be.
Absolutely.
To be someone who's had miscarriages and stillborns.
Absolutely.
And then have people joke about your child being born. And like and it's just, I get it. It's a joke, ha ha ha. But like, really think about the energy you're putting into the world when you say it about someone.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, but like.
And you the funny thing is that you can never make people happy because at one moment people didn't believe she had a child.
Right.
And then the second time around when she has her twin, she's celebrating it directly in front of your face.
Right.
And then people are saying she's doing too much.
Yeah, it's doing too much.
You know?
And, you know, and that's a lot. And I think it's literally the price of fame.
Absolutely.
It's just you're in this place where you're never going to please people.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure she learned that as a child.
Right.
And so, because even with like how she had Blue, remember she had her in a hospital. Then people said, oh, she took over the hospital.
Right.
And people
Everything
couldn't get
shut down.
Oh, it's just too much. Oh my God. And she's like, okay, all this negativity around something that's supposed to be beautiful. So this time she brought the hospital to her house.
Right.
She's like, we'll just do it at home. Oh, now she want to build a hospital. You're just like, well, listen.
Yeah, damned if I do, damned if I don't.
But that's, I think, it's the price of fame. And
Absolutely.
we see Whitney go through it. We see Michael go through it. It's just is what it is. And with that, you have to have a certain amount of self-love.
Yeah.
And you have to have a certain mental wellness because when you're on a platform that large, people are going to be mad.
Yeah.
But you also have people who love everything that you do.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
That's the reason why I appreciate that the two of them do things by their own rules. You know, we're going to govern our careers the way that we see fit.
Right.
You know, we're going to tell our truth, but we're going to tell our truth in our time. You're not going to
our
force us to do
platform.
anything. Exactly. Listen, on our platform.
Because I have Tidal, right? I try. I didn't pay attention. It's my fault. I didn't pay attention to the rules. So my ass thought I was going to hop on there yesterday and get a free trial. It said, no, you had to have your account before the 26th or you had to be on Sprint. You will wait.
You will.
I was like, well, okay. I'm going to watch other videos and stuff with my subscription for now. But I still got the Jay-Z album. I had to, I had to go old school and get the download link. But I was like, damn, y'all play. That's what's on your own time. But I respect that. This is my platform.
Absolutely.
And that brings me to the last point. He he has a track, the OJ, Life of OJ.
Yeah.
Brilliant track, I think.
Yeah.
He talks about serious things like
Some
money,
serious stuff.
credit,
Yeah.
financing, the fact that you're black, whether you want to be or not.
Yeah.
And I think that
not
opening,
tearing down your neighborhood, building up your neighborhood. Yeah.
and that beginning was so smart because I remember watching the OJ documentary and I was like, this man really did think he wasn't black.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm
He
not black.
separated.
I'm
Exactly.
OJ.
Mm-hmm.
He
said, okay.
And it was in a time that so much turmoil was happening. Granted, a lot of turmoil hasn't stopped.
Right.
But in that time, it was still very much the 70s and 80s and all the movements. And he's just like, I'm not black. I'm OJ. And you're just like, God. It's like, okay. But he sure enough became black when all that shit went down.
Listen.
And that's a community that actually saved his ass the first time. The second
Right.
time was on him, child. We couldn't help him. But that first time, you know? And so I thought that was a brilliant opening and just how he's talking about money. He was just like, you know, what's better than spending money in a club? Credit.
Listen.
He's like, oh, buy some land.
Yeah.
Invest. Do things. It will help you out. Like, you know, I was like, damn. And so I appreciate that. And then he also had a nod to Moonlight.
Yeah.
The track on Moonlight. I was like, Jay, in my opinion, he should stop here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great album
great place to be.
retire
Yeah.
for real, and
Right.
stop because you're gonna end up like TLC. Because listen, that goddamn album, and I knew better.
And didn't that drop yesterday
Yeah.
too? Why would you? Oh,
listen,
sweetie.
I knew better.
Right.
Because I don't get with reunion albums. The
Right.
only reunion album that I think that I really enjoyed was SWV I Missed Us. That was actually a good produced album. I was like, oh, this is good.
Right.
I played that out. But most of the time I feel like when you do stuff later in age, it waters down your discography.
Yeah.
If you don't do it right.
Right.
That's why I respect Anita for saying, I'm done.
Right.
Anita Baker said, no, you'll get those masterpieces.
Right.
Every Anita Baker album is a masterpiece. Kid you not. She said, I'm done. Enjoy. I'm not about to mess up my damn discography.
Yeah.
You know, and I get that. So I was just like, the TLC album, it's just...
Have you heard it?
Oh, yeah. I'm not just saying that. Here's the thing. I love TLC.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love them.
Absolutely.
That's why I was like, oh, let me listen. But I heard before the album came out, I heard Way Back, which I liked. I'm like, this is cute. I like Way Back. Cute little jam. Haters, not so much.
Right.
I hate it. And then there was another one, Joyride. I was like, okay, this is okay. Not so much for the album though. The
Right.
album,
The album as a whole doesn't really speak to you.
It's just it's just the production, and it's just not good. It's not TLC.
Right.
It's just not. It goes against everything that they really were as a group, with or without Left Eye.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
still
yeah.
had a certain swag, and I know they're now older women.
Yeah.
And I respect that. But there was something very much missing, and I'm like, I could have went without this, but I do respect it for the culture.
Right.
I still respect them for saying this is going to be our last album and let's just do it. But
Yeah.
like I said, you're ending off on a note that's not as strong.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, what do you do? 3D wasn't that strong either. So whatever.
I never heard 3D.
Right. Because after Left Eye died, it was very hard, you know,
Yeah.
and it's hard when
I'm about to say Fan Mail was the last album I heard about them.
and that's really kind of like how everyone's minds go. They're like, oh, fan mail.
Right.
I don't know. It's just not, there's fans who are like, no, it is good. Stick with it. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like I've listened to enough music in my life, and I'm so over trying to let things grow on me. There's too many great albums out there.
There
Like, oh, let this
are.
grow. Like, no, there's
Yeah.
so many things. Like, I'm still playing SZA, and I cannot. I'm obsessed with her. I am so obsessed with her. Like, she's so good. And since I couldn't listen to Jay-Z on Tidal, I found one of her concerts. That's exactly. I was like, well, let's see what SZA got on here, because they have exclusive concerts and stuff.
Yeah.
Which actually, I love Apple Music, and I'm
Right.
staying with Apple Music. I think it has everything when it comes down to it, except
Right.
Jay-Z's albums because they're on Tidal, and I'm okay with that. I have them, but I'm not leaving Apple Music.
Yeah.
But I do love Tidal. I
Yeah.
do. I've had it a couple times. Free trial for your nerves every time. Keep them emails up. But I started watching her Made in America last year, and I was late to the SZA party. I knew about her, but I just didn't. Her music didn't connect with me off rip. I didn't know what she was. I know she was a singer, rapper, whatever. I just it didn't connect.
Right.
But when I heard this album, it connected instantly. I'm like, oh, I like her.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of going back and you're like, let me see what I've missed
Right.
with the mixtapes and stuff. And so she had a full show, and it's on there. And I was watching it yesterday, And I'm like, God, she's so good. Like live.
Yeah.
She actually sings. She writes her stuff. She has like this whole thing. I'm just like,
So I'm guessing I need to give her a chance?
Yeah, give her a chance.
I can admit I was not impressed by the BET performance.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I like her voice a lot.
Okay.
She has a very particular voice, but like the album is really, really good. Okay. Like her lyrically, she's a Scorpio.
Come on.
And, you know, me and Scorpio.
Well, there we go.
Right.
Now I have to listen to it.
Yeah, she's a Scorpio, and you get a lot of that in her lyrics.
Okay.
You get a lot of just how it's great. I love her. So I was watching that on Tidal, and that's what I've been playing. But since that album came out, I played it once a day. I think there was one day last week I didn't play it, and then like at 12:01, I was like, I want to hear Love Galore. But the whole day I didn't play it.
Yeah.
But it's just it's one of those playable albums, and she recorded it over like 3 or 4 years though.
Wow.
But honestly, that's that old method.
I was about to say,
when you get that quality,
listen,
like the Janet method.
I was about to say, Janet, you better. Janet, Maxwell, like Sade.
Yeah.
Listen.
You get a quality
D'Angelo.
album.
I'm going to take my time.
It's so
You're not
good.
going to rush me to do this.
Right. Real. Yeah, and and it's just, you just get all the layers of vocals. Yeah. There's so many different things she does with notes, and like she has an affinity for movies.
Okay.
So there's all these quotes and things from movies that she uses. You're just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, and I don't know. I really, really enjoy her, and I didn't expect that. Right. Like, I remember everybody was hyped about her album coming out, and I was like, whatever. Someone was like, oh, you like SZA? I'm like, she's cool. Right. Like, I was like, I'll listen to it when it comes out. Right. And when it came out, I listened to it on my way to the barbershop, and I was like, this is good. Yeah. And then over time, you know how you get an album, and then it just really starts hitting you, and all of a sudden it's like your ear does a little snap, and all of a sudden you hear it in a different way. Right. You're like, damn, I really love this song. That's what happened with that album. Yes. All of a sudden, I was loving it more than I planned to. Right. And then you start loving songs you didn't love before. You're like, I didn't like this song, and now I love this song. Now I love this song. And that whole album, I really, really, really enjoy it. She pairs well with Channel Orange, Frank Ocean. I feel like,
which he's a Scorpio too.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And see, and this is why I love you, because you vibe out on the astrology thing. You know, I truly believe in it, and you do too. Yes, but people are like, that's not. I'm like, no, boo. And you disagreeing proves you're probably a Capricorn or whatever else.
Say it.
Like the cynical signs always say, it's not real. I'm like, what's your Capricorn?
I was having a conversation with my cousin on Facebook when I posted something about astrology. And he is an Aries. I had forgotten when his birthday was. And so he came to me and he was like, this post that you put up, is this for sun, moon, or rising? I was like, and you're an Aries?
Come through.
He was like, well, it's probably because and he started to break down. I was like, well, there we go. Yes. Because Aries is the number one sign that's quickest to tell you that astrology is bullshit. Right. So the fact that you believe in it blew my mind.
Listen, I always say, listen, if y'all can have white Jesus. Let's talk about it. You didn't make me sit up real straight. If you can have white Jesus, I can have astrology.
How you gonna try to tell me about the stars?
No,
listen,
right. I don't. That's all I'm saying. Because Pisces, that's where the whole fish thing comes from, boo. That represents Jesus. I mean, but we ain't gonna go too deep. We're not gonna go too deep into that. That's all I'm gonna say. But SZA's great. She pairs well with Channel Orange. That is it.
Bring it back around.
That's it.
Did you get a chance to listen to the artist Rashid that I told you about?
I did. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. It was late at night. I fell asleep not because it was boring, right, because I was late at night, but it was very soothing. Yeah. And his lyrics. I was shocked because when it first started, I was just like, what is he giving? Because it was like, I wasn't sure if I was going to like his voice or whatever. Yeah. But then all of a sudden he started doing things vocally, and I was like, okay, well, bring it then. Yes. Bring it. I enjoyed it. I'm mad they came out almost 20 years ago.
He was so ahead of his time. So ahead
of his time.
Almost
20 years ago. I was like 98.
Listen, black, gay, just unapologetic as he wanted to be.
And give his full name again.
Rashid. Rachid.
And the name of the album was
Prototype.
Yeah, look it up on Apple Music.
Look it
up. It was good. It came out in 98.
Whoo, boy.
So you're about 19 years behind the curve. But it was.
Those gems are important. Yeah. You go back, like you were saying, as far as there's so much good music. So much good music.
So if you don't like something, you'd be like, I'm just going to let it be. And like TLC is one of those albums. I'm just like, y'all. Keep it pushing. I respect y'all. I love y'all. You're TLC, for God's sake. It's cool.
I'm going to go back and listen to Crazy Sexy Cool.
Oh, no, that was an album.
And Live.
For your nerves. That was now that.
Yeah.
Was an album.
Crazy,
But-
Sexy, Cool, and Rhythm of Love were the two first albums I found.
Yes, Rhythm of Love.
Yeah.
See, you
Anita
know.
Baker.
Mhm. That's what I'm saying. Masterpieces. So, NBC cancels the Carmichael show.
Yeah.
It was plastered on the internet yesterday
Yeah.
because people love that show.
Absolutely.
Some people can't rock with it, but for the most
Right.
part, people love that show. It was a
Right.
very brilliantly done show. But apparently, Gerard,
Yeah, he was done.
he was done.
It was because there was an episode dealing with
the shooting. Yep,
Yeah.
and they pushed
And
it.
they didn't want to air it
Yeah.
because of what was going on with it was a shooting someplace happening in real life. And because of that, they didn't want to.
well, that's always happening.
Right.
So.
Amen. And so his thing was that your reasoning doesn't fit.
Right.
You know?
Because they totally skipped over. They used another one. They just played it this last week.
Absolutely. You know?
Because my Hulu, I was like, this is not shoot upable.
Right.
It was about the N-word. I'm like, so you guys can play the N-word show?
Yeah.
But you can't
won't
play
do- Absolutely.
the shootable? Like, I was
Absolutely.
like, what the hell? But
I'm disappointed that he wants to end it altogether. In my mind, I would much rather him take it to streaming or something like that because it's a very necessary show.
and I
very
love
necessary.
the characters. Like
Yes.
you have Loretta Devine, David Allen Greer, you have Tiffany Haddish, who, if she just can't be super famous already, she's been grinding forever.
Yes.
No, she's been around since Who Got Jokes with Bill Bellamy years ago.
Good
I remember
Lord.
seeing her on that show as a contestant.
Wow.
And then she was in a play with Michelle Williams in like 2010. I went to go see. Like, she's been around for so long.
Yeah,
and I'm happy for her.
I was
Because
about,
Girls Trip.
I'm about to say, isn't she the one in Girls Trip?
Right.
Okay.
And so I'm happy that she's finally getting some visibility. But
Yeah.
like, she's so funny. And then Little Rel, like, it's a great show. And I love it. Like, I love that the characters represent something.
They really
And they
do.
all bring their perspectives because these are honestly the perspectives of America.
Mhm.
I think that's why they have them that way.
Yeah.
Because they're representing different groups of,
Yeah.
of thought. And you're bringing it together to be like, okay, this is how I see it. This is how I see it. Like, the episode about rape was really good. Transphobia.
Yeah.
Or
He came out the gate.
suicide.
Yes.
Like, and stuff like that. And I'm sad that it's ending, but I do get where he's coming from. I do wish it was moving to something else.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
it's like,
I like all of those people together.
Mhm.
That's what, it messed me up because I was like, that cast in general, it's going to be awesome to see them because Loretta and David Allen can get hired wherever.
Yeah.
For life.
and they always going to be somebody's
They're
daddy or
always-
mama.
Always.
Because Loretta plays the same character, but it's still different enough. That you're just
Absolutely.
like, I love her so much.
Yeah.
Her,
Because she on Grey's
Bassett.
Anatomy with somebody totally different.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, because she's a great actress.
Absolutely.
She's not like this. She just gets typecast. She's
Absolutely.
an excellent actress.
Yeah, she is.
She just gets typecast. It's the same with Angela Bassett. Like,
This
where
is
it's
gonna
just
be
like,
so controversial.
oh,
What you about to lead me into?
oh, I'm about to lead you into
You about to lead
something.
me into something controversial.
God,
Some
do you not-
comments I'm about to make.
Oh, do you not like Angela? Is that?
I absolutely love Angela, which is so interesting because people could, I guess make an argument to me when it comes to Loretta. But it's only recently where I've really loved Angela. And I can be honest about that.
Yeah.
Recently, she's really begun to play characters where I don't see Angela anymore.
Okay.
And I've been very honest with people, and I understand I'm on a podcast. This is going to be heard forever,
Mm-hmm.
and I have no problem.
You're being respectful.
When it gets to a point, if hopefully I get to meet Angela and Denzel, I'll say this right to their face. Often I always see them. I don't see them lose themselves in a character.
Okay.
With Denzel, I was so disappointed when people were angry because he won his Oscar for Training Day.
Mm-hmm.
I was disappointed because they're like, he had to end up being a bad person. Well,
But he
yes,
was really
exactly.
good, though.
He was really good. I didn't see Denzel.
And you see Loretta? Do you see that joke? Did you watch Carmichael show where they had the joke about Denzel?
No.
Oh well, shit! I want you to see it. But it was on recently. They were talking about the show was about things that Black people just do because you're Black.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gerard had them all say something that they actually disagree with, that Black culture say you should agree with.
Right.
Loretta Devine said, I don't think Denzel Washington is that great an actor. I always see Denzel. That's what she said.
Listen.
She was like, I just see Denzel playing different characters.
I would have yelled.
Right, that was the joke.
Yelled. Because that's what I watch his movies to wait to not see him.
Yeah.
I really do. And with Angela, it got to a point, especially when she started doing American Horror Story, where I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is an anthology. I want to not see you every time.
Right.
I want you to change it up,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm like, my thing is that I don't want to always compare people to, I look for Black people who can transform the way that Meryl can transform, you know, because it's like for anyone who's listening who has seen Angels in America, she changed up to the point where she was playing a man and people watched that and had no idea she was even a man.
She's phenomenal.
Phenomenal. And my thing is that in our community, we have phenomenal actors.
You like Viola?
Oh, what?
Because I feel like she
now
transforms.
that's somebody who transforms.
I feel like and I don't like doing the whole white counterpart thing. Viola's Viola.
Absolutely.
But I do feel like she be head to head with Meryl.
And that's the reason why they're best friends.
Right, because it's like, she would be head to head with her, where it's like, nah, you got this.
And Meryl lives for her.
Yeah.
As she should.
As she should. I feel you on that. And I do think sometimes we, as Black people, we champion people because they're so few.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we feel like we have to just be like, no, they're the greatest.
Right.
And we don't allow criticism of people that we deem. It's kind of like, honestly, like Halle Berry. Like, that's kind of how I feel about her.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like, she's pretty.
Yeah.
She was great in Monsters Ball, and like I love all the old rom-coms she was in the 90s.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's done anything great in quite some time. And she's pretty. But then I also, and it goes back to the whole Jay-Z line, because he said something about Eric Benet.
Yeah, and I saw
and
Benet responded back.
And everybody's mad at Eric Benet for responding back. I'm like, no, because it's hurtful. I was like, it sucks that just because Halle Berry's this pretty woman that we assume she doesn't have flaws, or she's probably not like doing anything wrong. And that just because she's pretty, he was just supposed to stay.
Yeah.
And I just think that's fucked up. And you're bringing some 20-year-old shit back up. So yeah, right to be like, listen, I'm married to
I was about to
world.
say, I appreciated his clap back.
Right,
I appreciated that.
And some people are like, no, shut up. Like, no, he had every right to say that.
Defend yourself.
Because listen,
Absolutely.
if you look at, like I said, Halle Berry, beautiful, respect.
Right.
But look at the girl's track record, though.
Yeah,
as far as like babies, no man. And like, listen, there's obviously something going on. And I thought the same thing about Jennifer Lopez. It's like, you have this idea, oh, this beautiful girl, big ass, whatever. Right. Who would leave her? Who would do this? You're just like, but personality does matter.
It does matter.
Looks don't mean I gotta stick around and just deal with your shit.
Yeah.
You know? But I feel like that ties right into our next topic. So we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna come right back and get into it.
Okay.
Hey guys, hope you're enjoying the show. For you, the listeners of the Outline podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. I would personally recommend listening to Crush It, Why Now is the Time to Cash In on Your Passion by Gary Vaynerchuk. I've talked about this on the Outline podcast before. It's a great book for entrepreneurs, caterers, photographers, whatever your passion is. Gary teaches you how to monetize said passion. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/outlinepod. Again, that's audibletrial.com/outlinepod for your free audiobook. All right, let's get back to the show. All right, welcome back to The Outline. So this week's topic is going to air on the level of mental wellness. You and I had brunch a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we had this great conversation and we're like, we got to talk about this with a mic here.
Right.
And it goes along the idea of, as Black men or Black gay men, they're not mutually exclusive. Right. So it's not pushing anyone out. So my straight listeners, you're included. If you're Black, you're included. But if you're gay, you're also included.
Right.
And the idea is that we're not all broken.
Yeah, man.
And the conversation started because we were talking about dating, because that's all we talk about.
Right.
we talk about a lot of things, but we're talking about guys. And I was explaining to Sensei that when I date people, I keep meeting people, and it seems like they have all of this stuff that they're projecting onto me.
Yeah.
And it feels like they're only treating me a certain way because they don't really love themselves, or they don't feel like, for instance, like we're both gay. So it's like, oh, well, because I feel there's something wrong with me being gay, then there's no hope for you.
Right.
So I'm going to treat you like I feel like I feel like I should be treated.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, there's no way I could keep meeting guys like this.
Yeah.
And I think the conversation went more on to the fact of like friendships. I'm like, my friends are great.
Right.
I'm like, I'm sitting here with you having a great conversation.
Yeah.
We have this person,
But when it
and
comes
they're
to
fine.
my love life.
Right. When it comes to love life, it just seems I keep meeting these guys that are just like shit.
Yeah.
And we're not all broken.
Yeah.
Now, let's start this with, let's say, introspection and understanding the importance of finding yourself.
Yeah.
I remember a few years ago, I had a whole ordeal, which we talked about off the show recently, that kind of forced me to look at myself.
Right.
In a way that I haven't never looked at myself before. And it was because I took the feedback and I didn't oppose it.
Yes.
I think oftentimes we feel like it's everybody else. It's never us.
Yeah.
It's you.
Right.
You did this, that's why I did this. No, but we have responsibility in what we do.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people have not taken that step.
Right. Well, that comes from, you have to be able to see yourself, you know. A lot of people, like you were saying, looking inward. Most people choose to look outward. There are levels to this. People don't want to look inside because looking inside, as you were saying, because of the fact that you have taken the steps to look inward, you can get to a point where you can say to yourself, I was wrong. But people who never look inward, that opportunity never arises. Because the fear is the minute, okay, so this is a situation where Raven did wrong by Kevin. Here's an opportunity for Raven to be able to look and say, this wasn't Kevin's fault, this was me. But I live my life in a space where the minute I look inside, I have several different areas of trauma that I'm going to have to push through in order to get to what I did to you. I'm not willing to go through that. So I'm just going to stay out here. And you're going to be to blame, and we're going to move on from there.
Oh my God. And that's my rug analogy. I used this on the show a while ago, and I've always imagined it this way. I imagine this rug, and this rug has so much dirt under it, to the point that there's actually a lump in it, because there's so much dirt. But it's not my house.
Right.
And I can't just come in there and clean it up. But what I can do with the person whose rug it is, I can slowly lift it up and just clean up a little bit.
Yeah.
At a time.
Yeah.
You know, not forcing it. But over time, you get them to start seeing the dirt's there.
Right.
And maybe they're like, oh, there's a little bit more here. Let's clean up a little bit more of this. No rush. No rush. But eventually they'll start doing the work to get all that dirt from under the rug. There's no more lump there. It's not an obvious eyesore, but it's there. But you can't just go into someone else's house and pull up their rug.
Listen.
That's ultimately my analogy of that. And we talked about that too. You can't tell someone about themselves.
Right.
Unless they're ready to hear it.
Right. And that's actually a journey that I had to work through.
Same here.
Because oh my goodness. I used to, and it's also been a journey as far as being a life coach, you know, and having to understand that I'm listening to you. The way that I go about explaining to people now is that the way that I work as a life coach in my sessions with my clients is that I give them two options. You can have a venting session, or you can have a session where you're coming to me specifically to be able to offer advice and help. And the venting is necessary because people don't always want your opinion. They just need an ear.
I treat my friendships like that.
Yeah.
Me and my friends have a code, and I love it. It's very much like, okay, are we venting, or do you want my feedback? And then Christina even takes another level. She'll ask, she's like, do you want, like, we'll be talking, and she was like, may I offer you advice?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, yes, because her shit's usually spot on. And I'm like, yes. And then she'll give it to me, and that's important because, like you said, sometimes you just want to be heard. Yeah. And sometimes you have to process it. And you'd be surprised that after talking, you figure it out on your own, but you just said it out loud. And you start kind of getting there. You just need someone to be as objective as possible. Yeah. Which is why I love therapy, because they're objective. They don't have any benefit to it. I mean, outside of getting your money. but outside of that, they don't have any benefit in making you feel a certain way or not feel a certain way. They're just there to help you work through it. Yeah. And I appreciate that.
That's also the reason why they usually tell us that it's best not to have friends as clients.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
that can make things rather messy.
It really can.
Yeah.
Well, because and then because that's when you get into tones and stuff, and once again, telling people about themselves.
Right.
And like one of my favorite people, YOLO Akili, he said, "Listen, a lot of y'all don't have these degrees on the wall. You don't need to be diagnosing anyone.
Right.
Stop going out telling people what it is. Let them go to professionals.
Right.
And let them. And it's true, and." That's why I think relationships can be hard because you're intimate with someone, but a lot of times you want them to change for you, for your comfort. It's not even about them changing for better. It's just that, like for instance, the person, I always talk about me being a sensitive Pisces, and we talked about this too. I've learned how to filter myself, and I know how to. I have emotional intelligence to the point that I'm not spazzing. I'm not doing anything. I'm still sensitive. I still feel things, but you're not always going to see it.
Right.
You're not always going to, I learned how to process it in a healthy way into myself and get away from it. I'm not going to go all crazy on you. But I do remember dating certain guys who were just rude. They just said rude things all the time. And then if I was hurt by it, oh, you're being too sensitive. And I'm like, that's kind of unfair that you want me to change my sensitivity, but you won't change your couth.
Right.
You won't adjust the fact that you shouldn't say everything that comes to your mind. That makes you a fool. And that's not real. That makes you a fool. I'm tired of people hiding behind meanness as being real.
That is unfortunately far more people than I would like to
Oh
admit.
my God. It's just like, I'm just keeping it real. No, you're being a fool. You don't say everything comes to your mind.
It's a thing. Pretty much people are playing tennis with their emotions. And we exist in a space now where no one is stopping the game. It's like we're going to keep going back and forth. As you were just saying, you telling me that I'm too sensitive is not taking ownership of what it is that you've said to me, And then it becomes a thing of, well, who is going to be the victim? Instead of both of us being able to sit here and say, well, this is, again, it goes right back to being inward. Okay, so this is where I'm hurting. This is what I think that I may have contributed to this situation. Well, this is where I'm hurting, and this is where but that takes going inward. And but then that goes to, and I'm not sure if I'm jumping ahead, but this goes to communication and being able to say what it is that you feel. And this is a day-to-day thing with me. You and I were having a conversation off of the show.
We like to talk.
Right. where I'm talking about how I'm 37 years old and I'm still coming across people, but that's when you have an aha moment. You have to understand I'm 37, not only age, but I am in a particular frame of mind where I've reached a level where it's like, okay, this is the way that I communicate. Yeah. But an argument to myself, an argument against that argument is that I've been this way since I was young. I've always been somebody when it comes to communication where I'm very, very open, So that's where my frustration comes in, I reach a place of peace where I understand that everyone just doesn't communicate that way. But it is frustrating to be at 37 and to still be in situations where I'm looking at people like, I'm telling you flat out, here's the proper way to communicate with me. I can't tell you how to communicate with you. You got to tell me that.
Right.
But in communicating with me, this is how I like for my transparency to be. And then you literally do the complete opposite.
And I love that because actually you and I, Ray and I are friends, but I crack up because like in person, I'm very vibrant, very just like, la, 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 la. But if you text me at the wrong time, I'm not going to give you too much. And Raven was like, I just feel like you don't want to be bothered when I text you. I'm like, it's just me. I am more of a on the phone, in person kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'm very straight to the point. I'll never not respond. Right. That thing, my thing it's never response time.
Right.
It's just, I can be short or I'll just be I'm very abrupt. I'm just like, all right. This is it. Are you doing this? Yes. Send me this. Here's attachment. That's just even at work. That's how I communicate. Right. I'm just to the point. I don't like a lot of fluff. Right. But then we also have times where we're joking and cracking up, with our group texts and stuff like that. So, but once I said that to him, he was like, "Oh, I get it then." Yeah. It's not and I had to say, "No, it's not. It has nothing to do with you." Yeah. That's just sometimes I'm in the middle of something and I'll be like, "Oh, but I do want to answer your question." Right. So it comes across abrupt, but it's never. I'm not one who lets notifications just sit on my phone. No, I respond. You'll get a response. It may vary in length.
But that takes in everything that we were just saying. One, that's communication between two people, open transparency. Two, that's understanding each other, hearing where both people are coming from, being like, okay, I get that. But also being able to look inward and being able to say, okay, because both of us did that. I looked in and I was like, okay, because the truth is that you don't have to expect that everyone's going to respond the same way via text. If he's informing you that he does better over the phone or in person, pick up the phone and call him, you know? So be willing to meet people. Jesus, I teach this so much with my life coaching.
It's life.
That meet people where they are, you know? Anyone who walks with me, I hate saying follow, people who walk with me on social media will see that I always talk about balance all the time. There must be balance in everything in life. And that comes to, you know, relationships as well, you know? Platonic, monogamous, I mean, not monogamous, platonic, romantic.
Right.
Being able to meet people halfway instead of feeling like you gotta come over to where I am.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, no, I can meet you halfway. But again, once again, we come back to inward. You have to go in and begin to talk about what it is that's going on within you. And that's why, once again, going back to what it is that I've learned with my life coaching and everything, what we were taught is that initially we were informed that we're not supposed to go deep into people's pasts when it comes to what it is that they've been through. But several of us, when we're taking our courses, we were saying to our teacher that's going to be pretty impossible, because in order for us to really do our healing work, we need to know where you've been to help you with where you're going to go. You can't come to us on Tuesday and say, we're going to talk about Tuesday and that's it. It's like, no, I need to know what else you went through, because I can't help you with looking inward, you know? Right. So it becomes a thing of, and this is, we keep getting hurting people in relationships because no one has the communication. No one wants to put their hand on another person's leg and say, listen, all I want to do is listen. Talk to me. I'm not going to talk at you right now. I want to just sit back and listen and hear what it is that you have to say.
I agree. Okay, so that was very important, because I want to dig into that too. Okay, so we're going to talk about communication right now. What communication versus past? I always think to myself, when I deal with certain people with certain energies, you know, it balances out. We all have our things.
Absolutely.
You think to yourself, where does this come from? And, you know, there's so many people who, you know, who grew up in families where, because they were children, they were to be seen and not heard. Right. You know, there are people, because masculinity is so fragile, we're told, well, men ain't supposed to be talking about their feelings and shit. Shut that shit up and just act, you know. But now you have someone who's violent, you know, because they're acting, versus, you know, they have a temper problem because they're not expressing themselves. Some people think it's too much. But then you get to a place where it's just like, why do we stop here? Like, how do you take that past stuff and then how do you come to the present and then be able to work with other people? And I just, without self-help, there's just no, I feel like there's no way. Like, it's a stopping zone. But and this is such a, it's so frustrating to me, and I'm super passionate about it, because I feel like I run into it so much, because people have so many things that they're dealing with and so many pains that they don't want to heal. Right. You always end up at this crossroad where they're just like, nope, stop here. Right. And that's just it. You're not getting any further. You're not doing anything else, because this is my stopping point. This is the cognitive dissonance. This is how I believe. This is how it has to be. We're not digging into my past. We're not doing this. And it's like, I don't need to dig into your past. I want you to dig into your past. And start healing those wounds. And start doing things so that you can get to a place that you can have a healthy conversation with people. Right. Because there's too many people not talking. And I feel like a lot of connections, because some of them don't even make it to relationships, and because people stop talking. Right. You get in an argument, and then pride and ego gets in the way. And now you're like, well, I'm not talking to him. He got to come to me. Well, I'm not talking to him. He got to come to me. Yeah. So we're just going to let this die down because we don't want to be mature enough just to talk about it. Right. And sometimes you got to put your pride aside, and sometimes you have to realize that you're not always going to be the hero or the good guy. In this life, we're going to be both. Yeah. But sometimes you're wrong. Yeah. Sometimes I'm wrong. But you have to be able to look at yourself and say, okay, I was wrong on this one. And you also have to listen. What's the quote? Listen for understanding and not to respond. Yeah. You have to listen to what the other person is saying. Stop denying perspectives, because that is rightfully their perspective. And, you know, we're nothing but I wouldn't say culmination of experiences and what we've been through. So you can't tell someone how they should feel about something because of what they've been through and what they were told and all that stuff, all that trauma, all that stuff was put on them for years before they met you.
Yes.
And so you can't tell someone how to feel, but they also can tell you how to feel, but you guys should talk. And I feel like talking is the last thing people want to do. They want to fuck, go on dates, Netflix and chill, and do everything else, but actually talk.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there because that's a perfect place to start of where they don't want to go. And I feel like there are 3 levels, and who knows, in time I can think of more, I'm sure. But there are 3 levels as far as getting at one's anger to be able to open up themselves, to be able to properly communicate with people. And the reason why it ends up not happening. So there are those who, I don't know if you've seen the picture before where you see the 2 men. There's one who has a pickaxe and he's constantly picking at the wall, getting toward, I think, like goal or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's a guy who's walking away, literally inches from being able to get to that goal. And then he starts to walk away because he gives up. There are some people with their anger who are like that. I personally know some people who want to do the work, but it gets to a point where they become so frustrated because I'm doing my best to be a better person. But the world keeps giving this to me to the point where I just give up. No, mind you, I'm this close to my happiness, but I give up because the frustration is just too much and it begins to pile on and I'm over it. That's one type. Then you get the kind of people who their anger is their brand. And they have been made to be so angry at the world that it gets to the point where they are honestly the kind of people where and I don't necessarily want to say intellect, but they are emotionally capable of being happy. You know, so I don't really want to say it's an intelligence thing. They are emotionally capable of being like, you know what? I can be happy. I am blessed enough in this life where I can actually be a happy person, but that would mess up my brand. You know,
I'm known for being mean.
I'm known for being mean. I am known for being messy and petty. If I was to change all of that, there's a possibility all of that sadness will come back again. You know, so this is how I stay happy. I stay happy by making other people miserable. This is my brand. And
I know so many people like that.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing, Raven. I feel like that's so many Black gay men.
Absolutely.
So many.
Absolutely.
And I'm meeting so many of that petty, mean for no reason, tear you down.
All over social media.
All over social media. And it's all over. It's a defense mechanism.
Yes.
It's like, let me cut you before you cut me.
Yes.
But the problem is, not everyone is out to get you.
Yeah.
And I've been hurt by those kind of people. The people that I'm dealing with, trying to be cool with, they just were like, nope, let me tear you down. Nope, don't want this. Stop. And you're just like, and I get it because you're protecting yourself.
Right.
But you have no filter for people who are actually trying to reach your heart.
Yeah. Well,
that's with friendships too. Like I'm trying to be your friend.
Absolutely. It definitely isn't just romantic.
It definitely
friendship
is
as well. So that leads me to the third one.
Oh my God.
So the third one is, so this is my story. I was raised by a woman who constantly stressed to me the importance of my peace of mind. And to this day, I tell her she has no idea how much that helped me. That saved me. She constantly stressed to me, your peace of mind is more important than literally anything in this world. As long as you have your peace of mind, nothing can harm you. Now, I'm far from perfect. You know, I've done some really messed up shit. You know, I've done some pretty amazing things. Balance, you know. But in all of that, I constantly bring myself back to my peace of mind matters. The reason why I am... And I actually just put on Instagram, I have this thing I do called Message to the Minority.
I love it.
I do. Thank
I love
you.
it. I've been watching it.
And one of the things that I put up was people who feel like being petty is something to celebrate, you know? And I'm like, the reason why I'm so anti-petty, but I stress to people, we all have petty moments. We're human, you know? I've had petty moments where somebody has to say it to me and then we laugh about it. But it's moments. It shouldn't be your life, you know? And the third one is someone who's able to get to a point where they're like, you know what? My peace of mind is what matters. So I can't allow you to step into my life and constantly make me angry because you're taking away my peace of mind. So that's, you know, people stepping into your life. When it comes to the toxic energy that you've carried from your past, it's a thing where, okay, I have to make a decision because we can't keep looking at the world. You can't keep saying, I'm going to beat you down because you're not treating me right. You have to say, this is my shit to unpack. you know? So, and that's the reason why I tell people I don't come into a relationship expecting for somebody to make me whole.
Right.
No, sweetie.
Sorry to be whole.
Listen, I'm coming to you whole.
We should both be whole.
Listen.
We can be two peas in a pod, but we whole peas.
Come on, we're whole peas, you know? And I've had people argue back at me. I've had people literally say to me, that's not fair. I should be able to come to you broken and we can work through that throughout the course of the relationship.
But can I be broken too, though?
Listen.
Because a lot of people feel like the other person should be 100%.
Should be 100%, but I can be
60.
broken. Listen.
That's not fair.
Hands in the air.
Because it's a common thought. People have this fairy tale image of,
yes,
I'm broken, but I'm going to meet this person who's going to help me.
And you can fix me.
But who's going to help them when they're down? You can't at your 60%, girl.
Child.
You don't even have the minimum for the iPhone. It's on that low power mode.
Talk about it. Talk about the fact that sign hasn't come up yet.
It hasn't even come up, right? No,
you're good now.
You gotta get to 70.
You're at your 80. Listen,
right? It ain't even green.
It's not even green.
But they had a full.
You're still on your
They
yellow.
had a full green, 100%.
Listen,
but that's not because we're humans. But I think
only iPhone people can get that.
Only. But listen, I don't know what to say. But that's real though, and the idea is that someone's gonna fix me. But it's like, you can fix yourself.
Yeah.
And I posted that too a while ago. I said, the bad news is your healing is completely your responsibility. The good news is your healing is completely your responsibility.
Talk about it. And that's what
it's real.
I tell my clients. I'm like, my goal isn't to be here for the rest of your life. That's not what I'm here for. Mm-hmm. Now, if we're here 2 years from now, then that's the journey. But I'm telling you right from the beginning, this isn't supposed to be a thing where you're like, this is life. Mm-hmm. You know, my goal is to get you to a point where you stand on your own 2 feet. And your whole thing is, you know what? Throughout this course that we've gone through together, I've been able to find me, you know? Mm-hmm. And I tell people all the time, and I'm so glad that I have this platform to be able to say this on your show, because I really need people to hear this. Anger is easy, you know? Joy is, listen, it's so simple.
It's too easy.
It's so simple. And when I say that, I need people to understand this. When I say anger is easy, I don't mean something like being angry about the way that Black bodies are treated. Mm-hmm. I don't mean that, you know? Right. I mean, you are in a relationship and you get really pissed off at work and you come home and you take that energy out on your partner, you know? Right. Anger is easy. It takes nothing for you to come home and just be like, whatever it is that I dealt with in the office, his ass or she is about to get it as well, you know? The hard part is leaving work, sitting in that car or, you know, sitting on the bus stop, taking a minute to breathe, to focus and to say, you know what? What happened to me was some shit today, but I'm going home to somebody who loves me unconditionally. Mm-hmm. I'm going to work on relieving this from my spirit, or at the very least, when I get there, sitting down and asking this man or this woman, can you sit here and talk to me? Or just listen to me while I talk about my day. Mm-hmm. I don't want to take this out on you, you know? Right. But I'm feeling hurt or I'm feeling angry right now. You know, let's talk about what it is that you're going through. Don't put it on them. You know what you did? No, because now you're putting on me what you just went through at work. Exactly. Let's not talk about me. Exactly. Let's talk about you so that when we go to sleep at night, we don't have to be angry.
Oh my God. And right. And then now you're adding something, you're bringing that home.
Yeah. And this is our sanctuary.
Right. So now, and that's such a, especially if you live with somebody, you got to understand that it's not just your home.
It's not just,
and so once you mess up that energy for someone else, like, oh, it's the worst feeling ever. I've been in that predicament.
And it's in the walls.
Right. You're just like,
real.
Here we are. Like, and it's just terrible. Like, so, yeah, a lot of this is past stuff that has to be dealt with. What are some ways you think that people can start the process of healing? I mean, acknowledgement will be number one in my acknowledgement in work. Right. There's a brand of people who acknowledge their faults but do nothing to fix it.
I almost kicked over your microphone.
It blows my mind. It's like, oh yeah, that's just what I am. But,
so you were talking earlier about how you know so many people like the ones I was describing online who are, you know, petty and just evil, because I know so many people who take pride. I mean, their chests stick out because they're like, I know all my flaws. I know all of them. But what are you doing about that?
Right.
You know? Where's the work? I know so many people I can tell. And when I was younger, I was happy because I was like, oh, you know what all your problems are? That's so awesome. Then I got older and I was like, but wait a minute. You never do anything about them.
Right.
You know? So the second thing, of course, because acknowledgement is the first thing. The second thing is the work. You know? It's like you have to be willing to say to yourself, and we get to a place, and this I feel like is a whole nother show talking about people who were brought up in love, you know? We operate differently according to the amount of love that we received when we were younger, you know? So there are some people who are like, I can't be by myself. You're asking me to begin the work on myself, but when I'm by myself is when the pain really, you know? So.
And I think that's the dangerous part, because a lot of the people who are the most hurt and doing all the projection and the pettiness and the meanness are people who also are serial monogamous.
Oh, listen.
They jump from person to person to person so they don't have to deal.
Yeah.
But you have to deal. Because that is when you're going to get it out. That's when you're going to cry. That's when because listen, you can't medicate pain. You just can't. That type of pain, like grief and sadness, it doesn't go. You can drink all the alcohol you want, do all the drugs. But this is why people die.
Yes.
Because they're literally trying to get away with something that doesn't go away. It's gonna come a moment where you gotta deal with it.
Yeah, you can't use crutches. You gotta stand on your own.
You gotta do it. And I do believe that the universe makes it happen.
Oh, absolutely.
And people try to run from it. That's why you end up in these terrible relationships. You meet these people who aren't for you. You settle for these people who don't treat you the way you should be treated. They devalue you because of your anger. You got to get to yourself.
You just made a really good point. I need people to hear this. You just made a really good point. People either use crutches so that they can medicate the pain away, or they throw those crutches down and run. This is what you need to do. Be still. People use crutches, and the minute they throw those crutches down, they run.
Yeah.
Be still. Be still and decide that you're going to work on yourself. There is no journey in this world, and I can't quote it perfectly. It's from Sex and the City. I think it was like the very last episode where they talked about the greatest adventure that you'll have is the adventure of you. You know I didn't quote that verbatim, but that is, I can't stress to your listeners enough. There is nothing in this world like the adventure of you. Amen. It is so amazing, especially when it gets to a point where you can genuinely look in the mirror and love you minus the need for somebody else to love you as well. When that love tank is full, baby, listen.
Let me tell you something. I love my alone time.
Listen.
I'm almost afraid of how much I love my alone time. But you know what's, because it gives you a confidence and you know your worth. When you love your own company, no one can make you feel bad.
Talk about it.
No one can kick you out. You can't be, girl. Like it's nothing. Like in fact, I was about to leave. I was just trying to put my phone in my bag. Like I was already out the door. My MARTA card's in my hand. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you get to a place where, and that's what I'm saying. And people need that.
Yeah.
The problem is people aren't healing first before commitment.
There we go.
Find yourself. There's so many people, especially people who get married young and stuff like that, or in relationships, who don't even know about hobbies that they might like, or things they might enjoy.
Yep.
I mean, even when it comes to kink and fetishes, there's things you can be into that you don't know.
You don't know.
Because you haven't gotten to yourself and just really explored the beauty that is you. Because, sometimes you can see yourself and be like, oh, well, I like that this is this way. You start learning about yourself. Yeah. And I think it makes you a better partner.
Absolutely.
So you're not boring on that first date. Yeah. Because, there's some people who don't have anything going because they jump from relationship to relationship. So what happens is, oh, what do you like to do? Oh, I just be chilling. Yeah. Or, I just, not too much. I just go to work and come home and drink or whatever. I'm like, oh, I do yoga on Mondays. Right. I have photography. I like to collect vinyl. Yes. I like to do adult coloring books. You smoke hookah every now and then. I do champagne Wednesdays. Right. I do this. Full life. Yeah. But guess what? I got that by being by myself because you discover what you like. You go to that restaurant by yourself.
Go to the movies by yourself.
It will not kill you.
People think it makes you pathetic. No, it makes you whole.
And here's the thing. Anyone who says that is pathetic. The fact that you feel like I need social validation to go eat.
Listen. You're not feeding me.
I need validation to go watch a movie in a silent theater.
Listen,
what?
I can use utensils by myself.
We're not right, and that's what I'm saying. I think those people are pathetic.
Listen.
You gotta find yourself, because that's when you find the beauty that is life. Travel, do all the things that you want to do before committing to someone. It's beautiful. That's how you learn things.
And the thing is, because I need to make it really clear to your listeners that we're speaking from experience, you know?
Oh, listen.
Like, I used to be a serial monogamist. It was real, you know? And I look back now, because whenever, you know, when you begin to tell your testimony to people, when it comes to relationships anyway, I would always explain to people that there was a point when, and I'm still friends with this guy, but in my early 20s, I was in a relationship where this dude was the sun and moon. I looked at him like he was everything, you know, Sagittarius. And I was just like,
he took
this lack of self-love. Listen.
Sag love a good old ego moment.
Listen.
Yes. I have the best everything.
But here's the other side of Sag that I try to explain to people. Sagittarius are fixer-uppers. So their whole thing is that I'm coming in with my cape to save the day, but the goal is I'm supposed to be able to take you from the air. You know, I'm flying you around, teaching you these lessons. When I land you back down, you're supposed to be on your feet.
Right.
You don't need for me to continue. The minute I see you still need me to fly you around, my disinterest is strong.
Well, I think because Sagittarius love freedom.
Absolutely. So, I literally just put that on Facebook.
You did, actually.
Yes.
My best friend, Christina,
yes.
she's going to be like, what? I know she's going to. No, they love freedom. Like, nah, this is no.
Yeah. So he said to me, you know, he was like, and it was true. And that's the reason why I always appreciated him for this. He said to me, at this point, you love me more than you love God. Oh. And I can't do that.
Or even yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just a dangerous place to be. Why would anyone be born, have this amazing experience ahead of them, and think that they have to sacrifice that for someone else? Don't ever feel like your purpose is in someone else.
Yeah.
It's not. Live your best life.
Yeah.
And the right people will come to you.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
And that's what ended up happening. Like, after he did that, I broke down in a way that I had never before and haven't since. And that was a wake-up call.
You allowed it to happen.
Yes. I allowed it to happen. I literally sat on the floor and I mean, Scorpio ego. What really helped was that I sat there and I was like, what the hell? Like, am I crying on this floor because of a man?
Right.
Like, that wake up was real. And like you said, I allowed it to happen. And after that, you know, when I tell people about the spaces in between my relationships now, they're like, how did you go 6 years without a relationship? What do you mean, how? Because, well, first of all, and again,
I didn't want to be like, how do I get in this shit?
Listen. You have to, and this is something that I put on social media as well, and I really appreciated the response to it, but it was me being very transparent. When I am in a relationship, I give you my all. So when I get out of the relationship, I got to get myself back.
You got to purge.
And that doesn't happen in 2 weeks, you know?
It don't happen in 2 years because that's where I'm at right now. And I'm still like,
let's be clear.
I'm not ready. I'm on the weekend plan. You can stay over Saturday night and you can stay around 11 o'clock on Sunday. But you got to go. I got to be at brunch. Like, I just, and don't touch nothing.
And don't touch
nothing. Nothing. You lay your ass in that bed.
I know where everything was.
Okay. Lay in that bed. Yes, you can have some water. And you better use a coaster. Like, listen, I just but that came from me enjoying my own company.
Yeah.
And
there's nothing wrong with it.
And it honestly, and the thing about it is it trickles into all aspects of your life.
Absolutely.
Your career, your friendships, everything. You're not I was talking to some friends that I knew from back in LA. You know, everyone knows me as Little Kevin from LA, who just goes with the flow and just does whatever. And you know, there's a little bit of him, but not as much. You know what I mean? Like, I go with the flow. I'm not confrontational, but I say no when I want to say no.
Absolutely.
And so people are in town like, oh, let's go out tonight. I'm like, I'm tired. I'm not going.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no. I'm like, I said no.
Say it.
Now, if you don't want to see me the rest of the weekend, that's fine.
That's fine.
But I said no.
Absolutely.
And so that Sunday, like, God, you really got a backbone. I'm like, oh.
Okay.
But it came from being by myself and just knowing you don't have to, if you don't want to do something, because you end up resenting people. And then what's the point of going somewhere you don't want to be, where you're going to have an attitude and not be there? Just say no.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here on vacation, but I'm not.
And it comes to even like really small things. Like this is kind of, parallel to that. I had a friend I was on the phone with yesterday, and they told me they were going to give me a call back. And when they said it, I knew they weren't going to give me a call back.
Right.
And it was funny because it took me back to when I was in my early 20s. And I was like, I used to give people BS excuses for the reason why I had to get off the phone. Now, like, it's nothing for me to be like, all right, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, me too.
It's the simplest thing.
And I'm just like, oh, I'm just done with this conversation.
Listen.
And it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
I have to tell people this all the time because it's never me being me.
Yeah.
It's literally just saying, I'm at my limit.
Listen.
And now it's time for me to go. And
that's me and my best friend Mario all day long. We have no feelings.
No
it's
feelings.
Like, okay.
And then on top of that, my favorite statement, I don't even know where I got it from, is you say selfish like it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to be selfish.
Absolutely.
There's moments to be selfless and moments to be selfish.
Listen.
But then sometimes you gotta look out for yourself. Why am I going to be uncomfortable for the sake of you? Especially if it's not affecting your health.
Come on.
Like if we're just out, child, I'm good.
Listen.
This liquor gonna be here. These same niggas gonna be here.
I am horrible with quotes, and I'll tell people that in a heartbeat. But I know when I really love a quote because it sticks with me. And Janet had a quote that said, "How empty of me to be so full of you." Listen.
Evil shit. Robo shot now. Oh. M. Night Shyamalan. Hey. Whew.
That thing changed my life.
And it's funny because on her latest album, she had one after Damn Baby where it was just all like, I'm sorry that me being happy makes you so sad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you mean come on. Just, I was like, wow. That's like, no. And that's what it is. Get along. So, since we're talking about that, let's start off with therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Therapy is not what your grandma thought it was.
Yes.
It's actually a very beautiful experience.
Absolutely.
And if you do have insurance, it can be affordable.
Mm-hmm.
I actually stumbled across some great therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did it on the Doctors on Demand, which is actually on your phone. It was awesome.
Right.
And I think I had like an urgent care situation and nothing was open, so I just did that. And then I noticed on the screen, I was like, hey, you can have therapy for free, And I was like, oh. So I scheduled an appointment. I'm like, let's try it.
Absolutely.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. And I didn't have any issues that I went in it with. I just wanted to try it.
Right.
It was so amazing.
Now, that says a lot. That I have never heard anybody say that.
Because
you
it's
didn't
not
walk in there with any issues. You just wanted to experience it.
I wanted to experience it.
Listen.
Because
people
I know,
of color?
right. Because we all have stuff. I knew something was going to come out.
Yeah.
But I didn't have like, oh, yes, this is specific.
Right.
I went through this trauma. No, I just want to try it. It's
Yeah.
free.
Listen. You only live...
Why not?
Well, not true. But,
So, right. Listen, we're
gonna
going
get into that.
Part two, child. So I tried it.
Yeah.
And it was just it was an objective conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up talking about my routines.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of talked about how it ended up going into like body image and stuff like that. We're just talking.
Yeah.
And then she made me see things from a perspective I never considered. And I was talking about how my routines always seem to kind of fall off. I'll do something real hard for like 6 months tops. And I'll be like, okay, I'm over it. That could be relationships. It could be dieting. It could be whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, okay, I'm bored. And she was able to connect that to an aversion to authority.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like people telling me what to do.
Right.
I don't.
Neither do I.
And she said, well, consider this.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling you what to do.
Yeah.
So why do you have an aversion to yourself?
Listen.
She was like, some of the most successful people have routines.
Yeah.
You can ask them. She's like, if you want to be successful in your things, be accountable to yourself.
Yeah.
It's you telling you. You don't have to do it, but it's you. You're
Right.
accountable to you. And if you want better health or you want better results from your business, you want this, consider just saying, it's me. No one's
Right.
saying I do this. I'm doing this for me.
Right.
And just her saying that simple thing was just like, oh my God. It was an objective look. She had no...
Absolutely.
Well, it wasn't my mom.
She wasn't connected to
It wasn't
you.
my mom.
Yeah.
You're lazy. You got to get out of my house. It
Right.
wasn't, a girlfriend or a boyfriend like, oh, you got to do more. Stop being this. It was just, no, just
Right.
consider this, consider this, consider this.
Now, this is the reason why I like her. The reason why I like her is because that's the approach that I take with my clients.
Mm-hmm.
because I had therapy when I was 23 years old. I was suffering from deep depression, and I was on meds, and I was going to a therapist, and I was explaining to you offline about how I give my clients two options. That it can either be a venting session where I'm just a sounding board, or I can be there to give you advice if you need it. And my therapist was a sounding board. I didn't need that. This wasn't something I was informed of ahead of time. I thought it was going to be very much like you and your therapist. And it got to a point where I ended up having to leave because I wasn't getting anything from it. I'm like, I'm just talking. And there are some people who can talk themselves into, I do it all the time, where I talk myself into ahas, but not when I was that age. When I was that age, I needed somebody who would be able to talk, and be like, okay, well, somebody like you said, who didn't exist in my life already, could be like, well, this is maybe something that you can think about, It made me end up being the kind of person that I am now when it comes to me and my coaching, where I'm like, okay, I want to give you that option at least. I don't want you to come in and just think you have to constantly talk because you could end up leaving. It's really different according to each person, You may feel as though you need to just vent on a specific day. And other days you may feel so weak where you're like, I don't know how to figure out life, Can you just talk to me?
Right.
You feel me?
Let me know I'm not going crazy.
I'm not going crazy. And I'm not alone.
And it was amazing because we ended up going, and it was just, I think it was like 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And I just felt so awesome afterwards. I think we even talked about kind of like my place in life. I'm having one of those moments. I told you I get imposter syndrome every now and then. And I feel like I'm not doing enough for my age. Yeah. And child, she had this checklist, and I was like, well, let me just shut on up. Right. She was all like, she's like, it sounds like you're working. It's a Fortune 100 company, not 500, 100. She said, you have your own place. I was like, yeah, I do. She's like, you have a car too? She's like, okay, with gas in it? I'm like, yeah. She's like, you have a 401k? I was like, I do. She was like, so you do have some kind of savings then. I was like, I never considered that. She was like, just things you gotta, she was like, you're actually doing well. She was like, she's like, okay. She's like, you might be comparing yourself to other people or whatever. But the thing about it is you're doing a lot better than a lot of people. And sometimes you just need to hear that because you forget the checklist. Yeah. And once again, Christina, she's good at doing that for me too. I'll be down. I'll be like, oh my gosh. She'll be like, like consider this. It's just your place. It's the growing pains of being independent and self-sufficient and just like that. Sometimes you just feel like, damn, this responsibility is being an adult. Yeah. But when you're like, oh no, I do have things going for me. I am maintaining, and though things feel tight at times and it's frustrating, I'm still doing it. Yeah. And that's something to talk about. So she gave me, my homework was I had to watch this thing on negative self-talk. Right. And it was really interesting, which is something that I definitely had to work through. Boy. Meditation helped with that. Yeah. But negative self-talk will get you. Listen. And so so that's one thing. I recommend therapy, but if you don't want to go a therapy route, there are other things you can do. I think journaling is a great outlet. Yeah. Because a lot of times we hold things in. It doesn't mean you have to go out and tell someone, but you do need to get it out.
I wish more people did journaling. If I can be honest.
It gives so much perspective because you're literally seeing it. Pen to paper, Absolutely. You're thinking, it's making sense. And you start actually solving problems as you do it. It's that aha moment from talking. It's the Absolutely. Same with writing. Journaling is a great
So outlet. Many things that could be on social media could be in your journal.
Oh my God. Couldn't it? And some need to be in journal and not on social media. Because you need to see how stupid it look first. Listen. But I think that connects to another point I want to make, especially when it comes to men. Men are emotional. There is we talk about all the time, there is this statement that women are emotional and men aren't emotional. Emotional does not mean you cry all the time. Right. Or you're sad all the time. Emotions are actually being happy. Yeah. It's being, exhilarated. It's being horny. All that. Yeah. All those things, those are emotions. It's not just being sad. It's not crying. People think if you're crying, that's emotional. No.
They don't understand that all of that anger that you're sharing instead of emotion. Crying is emotion.
Exactly. That temper is emotion.
Listen.
And then here's the thing. We're all emotional.
Absolutely.
Some more than others, some less than others. Yeah. Because we all have the limbic system of your brain, which is the first thing up top of your spine that it hits. It goes to the limbic system first before it gets to the logic. Everyone has it. So we have to remove the idea that men aren't emotional or that people just aren't. Everyone has emotions. We just handle them differently.
Absolutely.
And what you're seeing are the actions of said emotions.
Yes.
It's not, those aren't the emotions. Those are the actions because of the emotions.
Right.
And I need people to understand that because there's too many people around here walking around saying that they're not emotional. When they are, you just handle it different.
Right.
Or the alcohol you're drinking, the violence you're doing, that stress you're imposing upon yourself. All of that is because of your emotions.
Absolutely.
Just because you're not crying in a corner doesn't mean you don't have emotions. And
you're reacting to it differently.
Right.
Exactly.
That is it. And I need more men to understand that.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, there are many women too.
Yeah.
But for the most part, men understand you have emotions.
Right.
Stop believing the hype of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're a human. We're not different in that sense.
Yeah, like you said, it's the same thing with women. It's just that men are judged more.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a society thing.
Because there are a lot of women who are like, no, you're not going to get that out of me.
I mean, listen, as soon as you're, 4 years old, stop all that crying.
Yep.
Boys ain't supposed to be doing all that damn crying. Yep. Man up. That's it.
And
whereas girls are told to push forward.
Push, exactly. But you're being told that by somebody who has that exact same way of thinking because they were brought up by somebody who told them the exact same thing.
Absolutely.
So you have to break a cycle.
You can't be crying all the damn time.
Yeah.
Always goddamn crying. Oh, we've heard those things.
Yeah.
And so
you build up walls inside.
Oh, terrible walls. To the point you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to talk about anything. Listen. And don't let that be linked to like being hit or beat as a child. Then you feel like if I talk, there's going to be a repercussion to it. So I'm not going to talk. So now you're an adult paying your own damn bills.
Yeah.
And you still feel like there's going to be a consequence for me talking.
Mm-hmm. On the flip side, funny enough, if you're somebody who isn't told that you're loved for your entire life, when you meet somebody who tells you they love you, it doesn't even matter if they mean it. You're going to fall deeply because you're not used to being able to hear that, so you can decipher when it's BS and when it's not. And you give everything you have to them.
And there's a whole lot of 99-cent love out there, child. Oh my God. There's a lot. Some of it 89 cents Walmart rollback. Like, it's a lot. Oh my God. I'm serious. I am so serious. So therapy, understanding that emotions are something that we all have.
Absolutely.
Something else I thought about is there's all types of self-help. One of the best books I read was about self-esteem. Best book ever. If you go on Amazon, I can't tell you the exact name right now. I'll put it in the info box because I loved it. It was the first book you find on Amazon. You put self-help or self-esteem, first book. Yeah. It started with a conversation with, once again, Christina. That's my girl. Right. Christina is my girl. She's hanging up on my wall. Tell them. She has a picture. I love her.
I'm looking at her right now.
She's that friend that has helped me grow so much, and we're able to bounce with each other. So one day we were sitting talking, and I hope I'm not giving too much tea of yours. Right. But she was just all like, have you ever thought about self-esteem? I was like, no. She was all like, sometimes I wonder if I suffer from self-esteem issues. I'm like, I never thought about that. And me being the person I am, I was like, I took it and ran. Right. I was like, And I think I had just gotten out of a relationship or something. I was like, okay, found a book. The book talked about growing up, different aspects of life. There was worksheets you had to fill out. And I started learning all this stuff. It takes you back to your childhood of moments where you were being muted, or moments that you weren't being respected, and things you did for society. It takes you through a whole journey. It's a whole workbook. Right. And literally my life changed from that book. Like when I was done reading it, I was literally another person. Yeah. Because I had never thought about how I was acting. And it's funny because that was around the time that the whole trajectory of my life changed. That was like 24, 25 when that happened. And then like all the stuff with my parents and stuff happened at 26. And then the backbone and everything else came later. It was after that book. But literally after I read that, everything changed because I started looking at things differently. The decisions I was making, the things I was buying, the places I was going that I didn't want to go, but I did for other people. And it was just like, oh shit. I have self-esteem issues. Yeah. And there's a lot, the book also talks about how there's a lot of people who think they're confident who also have self-esteem issues. Absolutely. There's some people out there who think they have high self-esteem, but they actually have a lower than they think. Because once again, acknowledging that you might be broken. Right. You might not have everything.
Very much overcompensating.
Yeah, exactly. And baby, let me tell you something. We have both been in a room with people who overcompensate.
Absolutely,
You like
yeah.
something's up.
Yeah.
Because there's no way in hell you're acting like this.
Yeah.
Something's
up. Yeah.
And but yeah, I'm totally gonna put the book in the info box. You guys need to check it out. It changed my life, and that led me into reading all these other self-help books,
Right.
and that's what I'm getting into. Check out some books.
Yeah.
It's okay. Reading is fundamental.
I am a reading fiend, and I was very open with you about how I felt like I had dumbed myself down over the last couple of years because I had stopped. And that's the reason why I've taken this break from streaming services, is that I need to get back into reading again. And two of the books that I would suggest would be The Four Agreements. I suggest that to everybody.
I read that right after the Self-Esteem book. Amazing.
Listen, amazing. I read it once a year at the very least. Lord, just reading the chapter of not taking things personal. That
it's
alone.
not always about you.
Listen. And then to go to, it's funny you would say 24, 25. 25, my godbrother Dante gave me this book called The Self-Esteem Prophecy. And it changed my life. And unlike these other books that we're talking about, this is actually like fiction. Oh. But it's a beautiful fiction.
Like The Alchemist, where it takes you to a whole other
place. Absolutely. And it talks about auras and energy, And I read it, and it literally changed my life at 25. And that was the exact same year when I started my magazine. And like everything just changed after that when it came to the Self-Esteem Prophecy. So I agree with you. It's very, very important to read.
So yeah, The Four Agreements by Miguel Ruiz.
Yes, it is.
And I also read The Mastery of Love by him.
I've never read that.
It's just as good. By the same Miguel. Was it Miguel Ruiz?
Yeah.
The Mastery of Love. And it just talks about relationships and just takes the Four Agreements to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Great book.
Well, we're going to stick with him real quick because I purchased the Fifth Agreement.
Oh.
There we go. Him and his son.
Check it out. and the book that I went to my Kindle app on my phone because I had to tell you guys.
Yeah.
The book is called about this book. Give me back. Give it back. Because you always take you to the first chapter. Here we are. It's called Self-Esteem. It's the 3rd edition. They probably have another edition. It's a proven program of cognitive techniques for assessing, improving, and maintaining your self-esteem. It's by Matthew McKay, PH.D., and Patrick Fanning. And it's a sunflower on the cover of the 3rd edition, but this was in 2011. So I'm sure there's another edition. Right. But check it out, and I will put it in the link, and I'll have a little Amazon thing there for you. Yeah, it was so good. I remember I was still living at my parents' house at the time. And I was in the backyard, my legs up, just like, this is amazing. Just going through it, just like, this is so good.
Right.
Because it was an aha moment. It was very much like fixing my own life. I was like, oh my God, I do struggle with self-esteem. Yeah. I never thought about this. I never did that. So yeah, read books. That's a good way. Journal. Self-care too. I talk about, I love adult coloring books. And when I say adult, I mean they're just made for adults. It's not like porn.
Absolutely right.
You're not coloring in penises and shit.
I actually have 2 other friends who love them as well.
Yeah, it's so soothing. Yeah. Another thing of self-care that I do is I like to listen to nostalgic music that makes me feel nostalgic. I always play like 90s or stuff that just takes me to a place. It's just, we almost get tears in your eyes because you're like, I remember how much I love this song. And you just have a moment. That's a good way of self-care.
I love going to the spa.
Yes.
I love it. Especially when you go to a spa where they have like little miniature waterfalls.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
It
is the
or
best
get
feeling.
one. And you know what I want to get?
Get one.
I want to get one of those. I also want to get an essential oil diffuser. I might do that today. I want one because I want the humidifier one too.
Yes.
By the bed. Fragrance. Do not ignore the power of fragrance.
Listen.
It will change your whole.
My hands up again.
Eucalyptus now. Yes. It will change your whole world.
Ooh, you walk into your place.
You're just like,
oh my God.
I feel comfortable.
Oh, it's everything.
Yeah,
it is
the power
everything.
of fragrance is so important. What else we got?
Traveling.
Yeah. And even if you can't afford that, staycations are great.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I say traveling, I mean, you can go to a part of the city that you don't usually go to.
Go to your favorite spots.
Absolutely.
Try something new.
New.
But the whole thing, the whole point of it is to get you alone. Get alone and learn yourself, heal yourself, learn yourself.
Heal
yourself first, because
Yeah.
we don't want self-sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm no one's doctor, but I just feel like the natural progression should be heal yourself first.
Right.
Because you want to figure out, make amends with those things, and then
I think they run in tandem.
Yeah,
Healing
and let's
and
not
learning.
and let's not forget about meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Meditation.
Well, you know me.
Yes, right. Oh my God, like, yeah, visualization. I love that you've introduced me to that aspect of meditation, and I've actually found some tracks on Apple Music when they walk you through visualization. Not as good as yours. I'm biased, but they're decent. They're decent. They're decent. But there's no safe space.
Right.
But whatever.
I've definitely learned when teaching that people have to really trust you in order to do that as well.
They do.
You can't take visualization for granted. Because there are a lot of people who are like, I don't know where you're trying to take me. So I don't know if I want to go there.
Seriously. And then, heal, self-care, do things that you enjoy, do things for you, and do things by yourself outside of your home. Like, don't be afraid. Go to that movie. Go to that concert. I went to Formation by myself.
Really?
I didn't want to deal with getting tickets for other people. I didn't want to deal with waiting for them to get their coins together. You know what it's like.
Right.
It's frustrating. You got to get a ticket like that. So I bought a ticket by myself. I went. And what I did was I introduced myself to the girls next to me. We took a selfie and everything. I was like, hey, ladies, we're here to congregate together.
Hey, ladies.
Just want to let you know, if you can't tell right now, I'm gay. And as soon as Freakum Dress comes on, I might clear this aisle out. So let's take this selfie. But I had a great time.
I'm gay. As soon as Freakum Dress comes,
it will be confirmed.
Oh,
it will be confirmed.
So I'm just telling you now.
Because you see this beard, I get it. I use coconut milk, yes. I keep it soft so it doesn't feel like coochie hair. But
good night. Good night.
Listen. I am a stan. I'm about to tear this owl up. But it was a good time, and we ended up vibing. You meet great people, and I was talking to someone, she goes to bars alone. And if you're an alcoholic, that's not for you. But if you can safely go to a bar, just hit the bar.
Yeah.
Talk to people around you.
Absolutely.
Because that also challenges you, too. Because you got to be secure in yourself to talk to strangers.
Absolutely.
It's easy to be comfortable around people that you know. But you got to be one confident, high self-esteem person to talk to strangers.
Listen.
Because you got to be sure of yourself.
It has been such a journey here in Atlanta. These first 2 months, I have been talking to so many people. I'm like, you are not that shy little kid you used to be.
Neither am I.
Ooh,
but there's freedom in it.
Yeah.
There's such freedom in it. So yeah, go down, do some things. And then I think the final thing I would say is heal before you commit. It's so important.
Ooh.
It's so important. Like, literally.
Don't be impatient.
Take time. Because here's the thing. And now I know it's different for everybody.
Yes.
But I think the real litmus test of how well you're doing is how comfortable you are with yourself. Because like we said, I love my company.
Listen.
I can't wait to get home half the time.
Come on.
I'm like, can we wrap this shit up? Even at the Beyonce show when it was, I said, all right, girl, you hit your 2 hours. I'm ready to go back home so I can be by myself. And it was funny because I actually didn't talk about this a lot, but I got a dog like a week and a half ago, and he died within like 6 days. It sucked ass. It made me really, 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 really sad because that's a whole nother thing. Yeah. But even when his ass was here, I was like, I don't have any alone time. But that's what I'm saying. Like, even a dog, I was like, ooh, you in my space. And I think that's the litmus test.
Yeah.
For knowing that you're good.
Yeah.
Because your company shouldn't make you scared. You should be like, ooh, I got some alone time.
Right.
I'm about to do my nails. I'm about to lay here. I'm about to masturbate.
Listen.
Because that's up. And then you have not lived until you can have full nakedness in your house by yourself.
It feels so good.
So goddamn good.
Oh my God.
So goddamn good.
Understand. I hope this isn't being too much TMI. I will walk around in a beater and nothing else in a heartbeat.
I'm sorry for it.
It's the best feeling.
I switch off. Either it's a shirt and nothing else, or it's drawers and nothing else. It's really weird. Or it's just full on nakedness.
Full on nakedness.
Which I don't know. I feel weird eating naked. So typically I'll just throw on some drawers right before I cook or something. I don't know. It's like it's a connection. Like, you're like,
I wonder what that says about us. That you usually will throw on drawers. I'll usually throw on the beater.
Yeah.
I wonder what this says. That one of us has the other one exposed more than.
I do like have my ass out though, because I walk past my mirror and be like, still there.
Not still there.
And then you also have to do an occasional twerk in the mirror. That's specialized by me. Yeah, I'm good for a good quick twerk in the mirror. I was twerking at 7 this morning. It was really good for my soul. That's self-care.
Come on,
I threw on some New Orleans bounce music.
Yes.
And I tore my bed up. I was in there. I was in one of the videos. I was on the twerk team. It's self-care.
Well, I think the reason why I don't do that is because all of my friends tell me in the moments where we're all hanging out at somebody's house or something, I think I may have told you this, when I lay on my stomach and laugh, my butt.
Hey.
So, yeah.
It has a mind of its own.
There's a lot of shaking and jiggling. So, yeah.
Another litmus test is you shouldn't be afraid to be silly by yourself. I get so damn silly. I've been here doing the most.
It makes you so happy.
It makes you so happy.
Oh
be
my goodness. Be silly.
Be comfortable. Be silly. Laugh.
Yeah.
Laugh.
Yeah. If I can just give a real quick shout out to my ex, I need to be able to say that even though we're not together anymore, that is something he taught me. And I'll be forever grateful for the fact that, now mind you, I could always do it at home alone, but in public, he taught me to dance like no one's watching. And I will always thank him for that.
Ooh, and
that changed my life.
I dance like no one is watching. But y'all see me on Instagram too. I just love dancing.
Yeah.
I just love dancing. I love being happy. I think that's what keeps you stress free. It keeps your anxiety down.
Speak of it.
It keeps you young. I love it. You gotta be comfortable with it.
Absolutely.
And then like there was one other thing that I wanted to say before we wrapped, but I don't remember it. Just heal yourselves. And the thing is, we aren't all broken.
No, we're not.
We're not broken, but we do have some things, that are probably some scarring.
Yeah.
But we can work through it. And
absolutely,
we don't have to carry on this label. It's okay. Therapy's okay. And meditation's okay. And talking is okay. And it's effective.
Yeah.
That's, if anything, it's effective.
Yeah.
Like, talking, especially in something tumultuous, will either get you in or out, but it gave you progress. There's nothing worse than being stagnant. Yeah. Because you're not talking. It's not going anywhere.
Being whole is not something to fear.
Oh, no.
Not
at all.
Taking it back to what I was saying to you at the very beginning, as far as it all goes with the journey inward, and a lot of people are scared to take that journey. Don't be afraid. No.
In fact, push towards it.
There we go.
Push towards it, because
the more uncomfortable you feel, the better.
And you'll feel so good, because once again, it's on you. And when you get across that hump, you're like, oh my God, I did this by just trusting myself. Like you say, trust your wrists, trust your soul, trust your heart that you will heal yourself.
Yeah. But
you gotta let the shit out.
Yeah.
Let the shit out. Maybe I'll name the podcast. Let the shit out. No, I won't. I won't do that. But this was a great conversation.
Yes, it was.
But I knew it would be. We do this at brunch, y'all. And I'm always like, damn it, I should have had the mic. Oh, the mic should have been set up right here. Where is the goddamn mic? We do this over and over and over.
Just carry it with us wherever we go.
But please tell the people where they can find you.
Okay, so if you want to look for me specifically, Sensei Raven, you can find me all over social media at Scorpi Yogi. So that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. At SCORPIYOGI. If you want to look for my wellness brand, The Love Movement, you will find that on Facebook and Instagram under We Are TLM. So that's WEARETLM. And on Twitter, it's the TLM team. And then at the end of the summer, as Kevin already knows, I am going to have my very first podcast called the Healing Space Podcast.
Yes, I like that
And
name.
thank you. So if you'd like to add the healing space as we prepare to launch the podcast, you can find us on Instagram under THS Podcast. So that's THS Podcast. And then on Twitter _THS Podcast. And I think that's everything.
Yes, and I'll have all of that in the info box. You can just click it because I know he was over here enunciating and spelling like he was in the Nationals trying to get Grandpa Aquila and the beef. But it will be in the info box, and you guys know that you can find me at The World of Kevin across the platforms. Also, I wanted to acknowledge that there is another outline that has popped up.
Oh, really?
I'm not going to address that. They're cute or whatever. But if you're going to use the hashtag, use the outline podcast and not just the outline.
Yeah.
It's the outline podcast for the hashtag. But whatever. If some of their listeners come over here, that's fine too.
Right. And I probably should let people know, as Kevin is one of my students, if you're interested in classes, whether it be one-on-one private, if you want group classes, couple classes, I teach it all internationally online if you're not here in Atlanta. And for that, you can reach me at love@revolutionmultimedia.com. That is my email. Or if you just want to go old school, any of those places I said earlier, and just DM me. There we go.
Can you repeat the word?
You know what? You know what?
I'm joking. But yeah, The World of Kevin or the Outline Podcast. We try to keep it universal. You'll find me either way.
Indeed.
But you guys enjoy your week. This was a great show. And
Thank you.
yeah, I'll peep you guys later.
Namaste.